everyone, it's Jordan again, and before we get into the vlog, I just have to say, Atlanta Braves are World Series champs! Woohoo! Okay, had to get that out. I am very excited. I watched the game last night, of course, and was thrilled when we won. So, even though it's a really cold day outside today, I'm still wearing my Atlanta Braves tank top. Go Braves! Okay, now that that's out of the way. So, for today's vlog, I realized something very, very cool, and I heard this a while back, but I went back and I looked it up today because I wanted to make sure that I was telling you guys right and I wasn't giving you false information. And I want you guys to think about it. Maybe some of you already know. Do you guys know how many times in the Bible the words "fear not" are mentioned, or something to that effect? Do not be afraid, fear not, do not be worried. How many verses include that? Does anyone know, I wonder? Do you want to have any guesses? Well, excuse me, I looked it up, and there are 365 times in the Bible that it says fear not. Isn't that so cool? Every single day is covered by some kind of verse that's God telling us to fear not. I love that. I think that's just like so symbolic and so meaningful that every single day of our lives for the entire year is covered by that. So I went through and I found some of them. Of course, you can go back and find more. I just picked a couple of them, a couple of the ones that I really, really liked. So there are some that we've actually already talked about, like Joshua 1:9. It starts out, "Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous, and do not be afraid." Or 2 Timothy 1:7. "The Lord has not given you a spirit of" what? Of fear. But of what? But of power, but of love, and of sound mind. Things like that. And Psalm 56:3 is an example. "When I'm afraid, I put my trust in you." Short and simple, but it talks about do not be afraid. Or Psalm 55:22. "Cast your cares on the Lord and he will sustain you. He will never let the righteous fall." Or Deuteronomy 3:22. "Do not be afraid of them, for the Lord your God himself will fight for you." Isn't there such a promise in that one? The Lord your God himself will fight for you. Do not be afraid. I love that, and that's why we are not to be afraid. And I think you all know, I think I've mentioned this to all of you, that is my probably single biggest struggle in my Christian walk, is struggling with being afraid of things, whether it's all of the unknowns that come with medical situations, or just my first thought is to worry about things, to be afraid of things, to try to control things, and to a degree to do everything that you can is a good thing, but I always take it too far. I always take it to worrying about what I know I can't control. And so these verses and just that whole idea is really encouraging and inspiring to me, and should help me, right? Should help me do better about remembering that God is in control. You know, God will fight for us himself. We need only to be still. I think that's Exodus something says that. But just the idea of God knows how much we humans, myself probably being the most of which, will struggle with being afraid of things. Life is so full of unknowns and so full of things that make us fearful in our human minds and in our human states. We're going to be afraid of things, and God knew how much we'd struggle with that, and in his infinite wisdom and love, he wanted to tell us enough times to have a new one every single day. Do not be afraid, fear not, for I am your God, and I will be with you, and I will fight for you. And just that whole idea of that we don't have to be afraid. We can let go of all of that. And I'm not saying that that's easy. Believe me, I still fail at that all the time. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. I still completely mess that up all the time. It's not easy to say, you know what, all these bad things could happen, but I'm not afraid of them. That's not easy. That's very difficult. But God is saying we don't have to be afraid of them. That's the beautiful part, is God's got them under control, and what's going to happen is what's going to happen, and he's already planned it, and it's already in his will and in his power. And I think that's why, if we truly trust him, that's why he wants us to have the freedom to say we don't have to be afraid of it. Because if I truly trust him, his plan, then I shouldn't be afraid of whatever he decides to bring my way. Because I should trust that he's going to work it out for my good and for his glory. And I think that's really cool that every single day, 365 times, it says, "Fear not," or something like that in the Bible. So I want to leave you guys with one more. I found one more verse, and I just loved how beautiful and simple, not easy, don't misunderstand me, not easy, but simple it was. I want to leave you guys with this. Mark 5:36, Jesus told him, "Don't be afraid, just believe." Let's all try to live by that verse. God is good all the time. Go Braves. Goodbye.